just take note, I didn't, I've looked at the questions, but I did not preempt my answers. So, I mean, what you would be getting from my answers would, of course, then be, I mean, yeah, like honest answers, or it's not scripted answers. What do I want to say? Yes, I was also a little bit afraid of doing this episode, although it was requested by one of our clients, but I was a little bit afraid of doing this episode because usually I do not talk about myself at all. I mean, in terms of talking about myself, I meant like in terms of things that are a little bit more personal, or how I got to where where everything is now. Yeah, but I thought it would be interesting for people to get to know me. And yeah, so let's jump right in, because we're live on Facebook already. Okay, so basically I didn't want to actually do today's interview or episode on about myself with questions that I asked myself, because I thought that, I mean, it wouldn't make sense. It would be better if you guys have questions and then I will answer them accordingly. Yeah, so I'll start with the first question. So okay, let me just run through. All right, it's in random orders because quite a number of you actually asked questions. Okay, so the first question that I would answer is actually from Francesca. So Francesca was asking, how did I start my business? Okay, so the history of Active Rate, or like, you know, Active Zone or whatnot. I mean, the whole entire thing wasn't started by me. It was actually started by Jason. I think some of you have seen him around before. Normally I say it's the tall guy. So he's our colleague, our business partner, also our mentor as well. So I mean, that's one of the questions that someone of you asked as well also. Yeah, so how I got started was actually I think when I was 21 or 22. So I'm just giving the backstory of like what happened. So actually few months after my 21st birthday, because I think over the years I was putting on actually a lot of weight. Yeah, so people don't believe when I say that actually I was like a little bit on the heavier side before. Then I decided to actually like say like enough is enough. Then I wanted to like lose weight. So I went on my own weight loss journey. And then I wasn't in the fitness industry yet, so I actually lost. But disclaimer, I mean, everybody's journey for weight loss and being healthy is different. So for mine, I did the Insanity 60 Days program. I finished it. I watched what I eat. But I was a little bit on the extreme side. So then in the end, I think in 3 months, I lost like 12 kg. So usually when I tell people that, they'll be like, oh my gosh, you lost like so much weight. But I think like during that time, I was still very new to, even though I have been doing sports for a long time since when I was young. I was in track and field. I did ballet for many years, competed on both area of sports, but I think nutrition wasn't really something that was like really taught when you were younger. I think people just say, okay, this is the right way to eat. Not really the right way. Okay, this is healthier to eat, so you just eat this. Yeah, so then after that, coming back to the story, so I lost weight. Then I realized, if I could lose weight on my own, means I could actually help others as well. Yeah, someone's asking whether I got before and after photo. I'll try to find it because I haven't been able to find it yet. But the before and after photo, there was someone that I showed before, and the person actually couldn't recognize my old photo. They thought, like, who is this, your sister? So we'd always joke that that person was my evil twin lah. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll try to find the before and after photo, because I think you will be able to see a difference. I got quite big until that, like, my pant size, like if you wear like Topshop, right, pant size is like UK 14. So like that's how heavy I got. Yeah, but then after that, I decided that if I could help myself, I could help other people as well. So I decided to get certified as a personal trainer, and then I was actually looking. Okay, I'll get to the answer the question now. How did I get started? Because this was like a build up. So I was actually looking for a fitness related job. So during that time, I was actually working in like sort of fashion industry lah. So I managed a entire like boutique shop at Haji Lane, dealing with all the local designers. And then I was working there full time. So I wanted to do a fitness industry related job. Then I was also actually teaching boot camp, like fitness boot camp. So you wake up like 6 a.m. and then you go like meet the people for the boot camp. But I mean, that was a little bit tough because waking up very early was a bit tough for me. Then after that, I also chanced upon like Active Rate. So Active Rate was the parent company of everything. And that's also where we have our kickboxing program as well. Yeah. So at one time I was doing 3 jobs. So my Haji Lane job, the fitness boot camp, and then like for Active Rate lah then. So I actually did kickboxing from scratch. So people thought that like I have martial arts background or whatnot, but I actually don't, because I came from like competitive sports and at the same time dance. So I learned kickboxing like any or most of you, and I just work hard at it lah. And after that, I got I wasn't officially like offered the role of like, okay, do you want to be a part of this business? I think it came to a point that I was helping to grow the business, and it was just a natural transition of me partnering. I mean, Joel wasn't, we didn't know Joel then, so it gradually go into that transition of like partnering Jason to actually grow the business. So I actually did like my certification course for kickboxing, I think October 2012. Yes, I know it's like 2020 now, right? So okay, 2012. And then I started doing like on the job training, teaching, practicing on my kickboxing skills daily, and like intensive training, so that I could actually teach better, but also do kickboxing better as well. Then I think in 20, let me see. Yes. So the end of 2012, that place that we were at, the lease ended, and I was finding a new place. Okay, so this is the answering the first question. So how did I get started was in 2013, I think January, we actually had it's 2013, right? Yeah, I think it's 2013. So finding a new place, and we were looking all around for a place, but we couldn't find it. Then after that, in the end, we found much bigger unit in the same building that we were originally at. So it was actually a big step of like leap of like faith lah for Jason and myself, because it was quite a big place. But I think during that time I was like very gung-ho lah. So I was like, okay, come on, we can do this. So Joel's asking, would you like to see our old gym? Yeah, I can. Okay, let me find it later lah. Yeah, our old gym. Yeah, so I'll just try to find the picture like later. Yeah, so then after that, so I did the, so see now I get distracted. I'm trying to find the picture. Yeah, so I then I think that's where I started to just naturally do the business. So I think that's how I got started. I hope I answered that question. Yeah, that's how I got started. But it was an enjoyable journey, but at the same time, it was one of the toughest thing that I did lah, as an individual, as a person, because I think that really stretched me individually. It's not just on like a personal level or like a business level, like emotionally, mentally, physically, yeah, I got fitter lah. But just maintaining the fitness. But yeah, so I think that was one of the toughest things that I had to do lah. Of course, life is always ups and downs lah. But yeah, that was one of the toughest things lah. So I hope I answered Fran's question. So that's how I got started. And then next one is okay. So I have pictures because Joel sent them. So I'll just show you guys the pictures that we have. Okay, so this used to be how our studio looked like. So we used to have like 2 floors. So it's like a penthouse. So this my wire. So this was actually the studio on the upstairs. And this used to be downstairs at our gym. So that's how it looked like. The only thing that you won't see is the reception area, and we had some like rooms for like smaller group training. So that's the old place. So we were there for 5 years, and I think it's a good journey because it taught us like a lot of things. Nothing is smooth sailing lah. Of course, there are a lot of issues that we would encounter. So Joel came aboard 2015. So of course he has seen the old place lah. So 2015, and we were there until May 2019. Yeah, so that was 5 years there, and then now we're at our current location. Yeah, so you can ask questions along the way. Okay, I'm going to answer the next one. So I'm keeping track of time as well. Okay, so I think the next appropriate question would be based on how you have been responding is that Julie was asking that what was the greatest challenge I faced. I think the greatest challenge that I faced, this is me speaking to Julie. I mean to do a disclaimer again. Everybody's entrepreneurial journey is different. I'm not trying to like pour cold water on anybody lah, but for us, during that time, the biggest challenge was of course finances, because of the area that we took, the space, right, was so big. You always have to constantly be on the edge, not edge, but you always have to constantly be on the goal of like, okay, how can we do things to make it better? How can we get more like money? How can we make ends meet? How can we pay our bills? There, of course, in any business, there of course were many months that like sometimes you have like no money or no salary at all. Sometimes you only have enough to live by, because whatever that you earn, you usually put like entirely back into the business. And we are not, I'm a person who's just like average family lah, so not like, I'm very rich or whatnot. So I have to work like really hard to get to where I am today. So I think the biggest challenge for me was finances, because taking care of your own personal savings, your bills, that's easy to manage. But I think when you take on a business, you have a lot of other utility bills to pay, your rental, you have all your like equipment, your miscellaneous stuff, like tissue box, hair tie. Every single thing is just cent and dollar lah. But one thing that I've always learned is that cent and dollar is not the most important thing. Though of course money is important, but for us, people was always very important. So we always place customer service as number one, because I think I believe that people help grow your business lah. Not the program, the facilities, but I think how you treat people or how you are as an individual to bring that business to life is actually the more important thing for me. Yeah, so the biggest challenge I faced was actually finances lah. I mean, people sometimes will ask, did we manage to get over it eventually? Yes, we did, but it took a very long time. Yeah, it took us almost like 3-4 years before things even like stabilize. I mean, of course, you don't see it lah. Like, I mean, in front of like you, we don't say anything, but of course, behind the scenes, there's a lot of tears and sweat, a lot of hard work. There was one time that it was like pretty bad, like financially, but I mean, of course, we still pulled through in the end. And I mean, I won't say anything lah, but our landlord actually helped us like waive a certain amount like from the rental to just actually help us get by. So one thing I've learned, right, I mean, this is not the biggest challenge, but one thing I've learned that when you do business, right, actually you are not alone. There are a lot of other people that would actually be willing to help and lend a helping hand. But the most important thing for us as business owners, I think we have to continually remember to be humble, because I mean, people can't read your mind. So you need to know to be humble, to be able to put down, your pride and your ego and say that, like, I need help, or can you help me with this? And I think that people actually appreciate that. It's not because, it is honest, but people appreciate that from fellow human beings lah. So I always remember that like in business, actually there are people lah that actually would actually help you. I mean, of course, there are a lot of other people that help us along the way. Some of them in the end became good friends with us and are still good friends with us. Yeah, so that was one of the greatest challenge. So the next one that, Julie again. So Julie was saying like, was it scary to risk everything? Was it scary to risk everything? This is a question that I think people would say yes. My answer would be yes and no. And oh my god, choke. My answer would be yes and no. Why yes and no? Because I think if you all see me back then or knew me back then, I'm a very big risk taker. So big that people working with me sometimes get scared, because it literally put you on the edge of things. And I dare to challenge I can't remember that word. I dare to challenge like the normal norm. I dare to challenge, take big challenges, take big risks, but deliver results. Yeah, so the strange thing about me is that like people say, oh my gosh, you're overachiever, you want to do so many things and whatever not. But for me, I see it as, if you are focused on something, right, go get it done. Don't just 6:30 and then give up halfway. Then all the effort that you have put in, I think it goes to waste. And there were people that were supporting us also, like, was it scary to risk everything, right? Yes, for me it was, because I didn't have like immediate family support. So the support that I have, right, is from people that are like other close friends or other people that are in our lives that actually help us to start everything up. And it was scary because, Bill Gates, I don't know whether you all watched the documentary. So Bill Gates is doing the foundation, right, with his wife. So they have the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. One of their friends or someone that they knew actually invested all his inheritance, right, into the foundation. So it was that same thing of like, I am not to a certain extent, of course I have put in my own money, but like, you also have people that invest in you, so you want to do the best that you can. So I think that's one of the things that like drove me to actually be really competitive. And I mean, I'm glad that I had a competitive age from young, because I was doing track and field since I was primary 4. Yeah, and we compete all the time. And the good thing is is that, I mean, I find it as a good thing lah, okay? Maybe people think like it's too intense for them, but our coach would train us together with our competitors, because a few of the best schools, like during that time lah in Singapore, were all trained under the same coach. So our coach didn't bother whether we were competitors on the field at all, or on track, or for competition. He would just make us train together. So I think training beside, I won't say enemies, but training beside them actually forced me to continue to be the best that I should. Yeah, so I think it helped with my business aspect, or like managing things lah. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, Joel had a comment like Val 2015 angsty. Yeah, later I'll talk about that journey lah. Yeah, so but I was not scared to risk. Okay, disclaimer, people may think that like wow, Val like heartless or what. It's not, but I think my priorities in life were really clear. So I sacrificed a lot. I sacrificed my friends. I sacrificed my own time. I sacrificed traveling and holidays. I used to be a person, before I did my own business, I used to be a person that I would travel with my friends like 4 times a year because I love traveling. Then when I started my business, I didn't travel for over like 6-7 years. So I really dedicated my time and my business. Joel said Val scolded me during his first interview. Yeah, because he was late, number one, and he actually asked me to print out his resume for him. So I mean, to me, that's not acceptable lah. Work-wise lah. Yeah, so I sacrificed family as well, because I think family, I didn't have time for, yeah, see, Julie remember, yeah, I didn't have time to as much time to spend with my family, but I mean, I had to put in the work lah. I have to put my hand in the plow and say that, you know, I need to do the best that I can for the business, because you're growing a business. So I mean, it's good that my family was quite patient with me lah. And I think because of how independent I was, right, they weren't really worried. Yeah, so I actually just invested a lot of time in my business. Yeah. Okay, so now Joe Francesca is asking, Joe, are you traumatized? I mean, I don't think Joe was traumatized lah, but to answer that, right, me and Joel didn't like each other in the very first place, so it wasn't love at first sight. Okay, just to highlight, it was not love at first sight. Yeah, so so scary or not is a yes and no for me. Yeah. Next one that I would answer is like, okay, so Francesca is asking, who was your greatest business mentor and what advice did he or she give you? So, I mean, like I said, my business mentor, or like mentor in general, life, business, is Jason. So a lot of you, I think, may not, I think only the older clients that have been with us for a while would know who Jason is. So Jason has taken the back seat lah, so he becomes like the strategy, the brain. I mean, we are the brains also, it's just that like we are in the operations as well. Fires. Joel, fires on, the pain is still me. No lah, the pain not with you lah. Okay, so Jason is someone that really taught me everything from scratch. Like so what Joel mentioned in the Instagram comment was that I was an angsty person. So one of the things that I really had to go through, I mean, the journey as a person and maturing as a person was a lot of people can't see now lah, but I used to have very bad anger management, whether it's things that I've gone through in life when I was younger. So I had very bad anger management, and it took me about 3 years to recover, get out of it, manage it. And I mean, of course, now, I mean, my anger management, of course, has been dealt with. I recovered from it. I'm not the same person 8 years ago than I was now. So I think as a mentor, I really gave Jason, as a mentee lah, I gave Jason a really hard time. But he was very patient to teach me throughout all these years, and still is teaching myself and Joel. But one advice, he has given tons of advice lah, because I give him like really hell lah. Sometimes he say that, wow, I know you, then my whole life will turn upside down. So he will say things like that. But he plays a fatherly role that would not spare the rod if I need disciplining, or would not spare the rod if like I'm being like stubborn or like dumb about something lah. Because it's not just business wise, it's also like, your life. You want to make sure that you behave properly as a person, be grateful to people that has helped you along the way. So I think I really can't think. But I think the only thing that I remember in the earlier years was he said that I have to be focused and stick at one thing and do it well. So like, master of all trade. Jack of all trades, master of none, right? So I learned that, I won't say I learned that the hard way, but I really learned that when I was doing my business, because I wanted to do a lot of other things besides running the business, doing kickboxing. I wanted to do, I go out with my friends lah, I want to go shopping, I want to do a lot of other things. But I realized that as an individual and as an adult, if I run my own business, there's added responsibilities. And with added responsibilities, of course, there are sacrifices that you will need to sacrifice lah, so that you can continually be responsible for what you have in your life. So I think that's one of the things that I remembered, because a lot of people my age then, or I'm not sure now, you want to do so many things, but we need to learn to be very clear of our life priorities. Oh my gosh, this feels like a hashtag Auntie Val life lessons. But I mean, it's true, because a lot of people think that like I'm way older. I mean, yes, for some people I'm way older, but I'm actually born in the 90s. I'm not a 80-something kid, I'm born in like 90. So I understand to a certain extent how like younger generation people feel lah. Julie's asking, were there any points in time when you regret sacrificing what you did? Actually, no. I never regretted things that I sacrificed. I am someone that has this life motto for myself. Even before I started this business, my life motto is that when I do things right, I live life with no regrets. So means things that I have. I mean, of course, I made mistakes with business. I've made mistakes in life, but I don't regret sacrificing, because at the end of the day, like, okay, for example, like my family, right? Of course, in the like few years, I put a lot of time in business, but I think after that, I have built my relationship with my family as well, and that actually is rewarding, because sometimes when you put in your hand in the plow, you can't see the fruits of your labor immediately. So I wouldn't regret like sacrificing what I did. Like for example, friends. At the end of the day, it was an experience that you will know who are your true friends, who are those friends that were for a season. So I think that was fine. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't need friends or like I don't like friends, but I think just because of the way I was brought up, I was very independent. Too independent that like if I go overseas, I won't call home, because for me, like I don't even miss home. I always talk about this. Sometimes some people will know. When I was primary 5, we had this outdoor camp. I didn't even miss home. Like I didn't even cry, or like there were some other people from other classes, like primary 5, they cried and their parents came. So I was like, why cry? Like I was so happy to be like out. I was so happy to be out of the house. And during secondary school and primary school, I was heavily involved in like CCAs. I had 2 CCAs in secondary school. Yeah, so Jumi said I wouldn't miss home too. Yeah, so I think independence is needed, I think, when you are doing business, because I think it's going to be very hard if you really need a lot of things in your life. I mean, of course, for me, I strike a balance with everything, but yeah, I think my priorities are just different lah. Yeah, so I saw another question. Yongming is asking, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? 5 years from now, I'll be 35. So a shout out to Joe, because I'm not shy about this. Well, hopefully we would have a child by then. Yeah. So hopefully we have a child. How many? 1 or 2? Cause 35, right? I'm 30 this year. My goal, this is still a goal of mine. It's a dream lah, that I would want to own a piece of land or a piece of building. I know anybody out there, if you want to be along with this journey with me, welcome to do that. But I would also want to own like a business unit. So instead of paying rent, of course, if I could buy a commercial property, I won't say building lah, I'll start a commercial property first. That would be great, because I like to put my investment down on commercial property. A house, yes, is needed, because I mean, you need a roof over your family lah, but I think I think that's that. Yeah, someone is video bombing. Yeah, so I think that 5 years. What do you want the land for? Plant durian. Okay, no, so the land is to build a building, filming and everything, what we do. So plantation lah, so maybe I can do durian plantation. So that's that. 5 years from now, that's it. Are you joining in? Joel is disturbing. Okay, next question from Instagram is that, yeah, Joel can like to disturb me. Okay, next question from Instagram is okay, I'll just answer this one. What is it that, this is from Eileen. So what is it that keeps you going in the journey of being an entrepreneur? For me, being an entrepreneur is very exciting. It's very tough, but I really like to do business. I like to see, of course, besides the money and dollar, but I think the most important thing for me is that because of the business that we do, we're in the business of fitness industry, right? So Jason, of course, my mentor, always taught us that people are very important. People is actually the most important piece in any business. So seeing our clients happy, seeing our clients reaching their fitness goals actually is very rewarding for us. Or like the hard work that we put in. Sometimes like our clients say, wow, this place so nice. Active zone, oh, so nice, and everything is done nicely. I think we appreciate that, because I think a lot of times as leaders, you're not waiting to be just like, hey, thank you for everything. I'm not waiting for people to say thank you to me, but I think it's a very nice gesture when people like appreciate what you do, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that, the place done so nicely, but there's no human beings, so no use. Yeah, so to us, our customers are very important. That's why customer service is number one. And I love talking to people. I love talking to all of you. That's why I think it has helped me, because a lot of times people say that, hey, that one I'll talk to someone like random lah, on the streets. Then people are like, hey, that one your friend? I was like, no, it's not my friend. It's just someone that I randomly talk to. So people are the ones that keep me going. Potential of things that are yet to be. I always remember this saying, and this saying is by Brian Houston lah. So if you all Google who Brian Houston is, then you'll know. Yeah, he has a book about that. Excuse me. So the best is yet to come, and I always am very positive about a lot of things lah. So the best is yet to come. If it's not your best, means you can always find ways to make it even better, make it even better, and make it even better. Yeah, so sometimes people are a little bit scared to work with me because I can be quite intense. And I always want things to be even better and better and better and better, because I always feel that there's potential, or you would then need to diversify, or you would then need to come up with new ideas. So that's quite interesting for me lah. Okay, so I'm answering all the questions, but just answering them in order of the topic. Okay, so Julie is asking if there's one thing you could change in your journey here, what would it be? Change in my journey. Change in my journey. I think I would take more time for myself as an individual. I think because it's very different. Take more time for myself is not say like, I must go and do shopping, or I must do something physically. But I think for me to have time to reflect it's actually very important, and still is important. So I think that was something that if I could do, I would have more of. Yeah, so I think the circuit breaker was quite good, and phase 1 was quite good because it really gave us like a break, which usually we don't have break because we work like about 6 or 7 days a week. Or sometimes you have to just work non-stop lah. So even the off days, not really an off day for us. But I mean, it's fine because, we like what we do. So that would be my answer to the question. Yeah, Joel's asking, if you could be an animal, what would it be and why? If I could be an animal, I don't know though. If I could be an animal, animal. I don't know, I'm just thinking of a few animals. I guess a lion or a tiger. I think because of the kind of like spirit that they have, which is like not ferocious lah, but fierce and determined. And but of course wild tigers I'm scared lah, but I'm not scared of those tigers, at the zoo. I love animals lah. I love tigers lah. Yeah, so I was never afraid of like chimpanzees, snakes. Oh my gosh. Joy is asking, IG viewers, y'all want to see our new pets? Are we keeping a pet? Yes, please. Okay, I'm not sure what pet this is. I think Joel is talking about our worms. Our composting worms. No, we don't have a new plant. My sister is having tons of plants. Okay. Let me see if I can bring the plants here. No, not plants, sorry. I mean the worms. Yeah, so OMG. Yeah, but I need to find them though. I don't have a fork. Usually I don't deal with these things. Okay. Wait, let me find them. Okay, so basically, can y'all see? Oh, y'all can see a reflection on my camera. Okay, so basically this is our composting worms, but this is the small container. Yeah, it looks a bit gross inside. I don't know where all of them. They are at the bottom. But you want to see the bigger house? We have a bigger house for the worms. Let me show you. Okay, so as you can see here, this is actually our very big composting bin. Yeah, you won't be able to see them because they are actually deep inside the thing. I don't want to go and take the fork and poke them because usually Joe pokes them. I'm seeing whether I can. They're actually right underneath. Oh, wait. Okay, there's one here. Can y'all see? The camera can't focus. Okay, so if I'll put it further away. So can you see this? Yeah, this is one of the composting worms. Oh no, there's two of them. I think they are all like, I don't know whether y'all can see or not. And then there's one more here. I can't put it too close because it doesn't zoom. As in, it can't focus. Yeah. So we have composting worms because I think circuit breaker, you know, everybody's stuck at home, so you have plants, and then we wanted more soil for the plants, but we didn't want to buy, so that's where Joel started composting. So their favorite food is, can you guess? Their favorite food is watermelon skin, banana skin, and cut cucumber blended together, and they will eat it. Yeah, I know, right? So I know all this like as if I'm keeping it. No, it's because like, you know, Joe talks about it all the time, and the worms are kept in our room because they can't be left outside at a very hot temperature. And you know, Singapore is very humid, right? So they need to be kept within like 21 to 25 degrees Celsius. So that's why they sleep with us in the room. Okay, but you know, they don't crawl out lah. First few times there were some casualties. So unfortunately, the worm tried to squeeze through, crawl, and then it died. But we haven't had any casualties since then, because usually worms take a while to be familiar with their surrounding, and once they get used to their new home, right, then usually that's where they stop coming out. Yeah, and they're called night crawler worms. Why night crawler? Because at night they will start crawling and exploring. Yeah, so that's our worms. Okay. I'll go back, joking. I'll go back and answer your questions. Okay, so where we left off, so that was the worms. Yeah, it's very interesting. Next time we maybe should do a whole entire video. Oh, I should. Oh, Julie got goosebumps. Yeah, so I didn't really want to show you the worms in like person, because you know it can be quite gross, and there are tons of them. We even have like, okay, so our worms, right, they have already started like reproducing. So we have like really small baby worms everywhere. So there's baby worms, there's like medium-sized worms, there's full-grown worms. If the worms die inside, means other worms will eat them and they will compose. They eat our food waste. Yeah. Joe's the expert on this. Yeah, so let me see this question. Oh yeah, Julie was asking, how's things at the gym so far? Things are doing well. I think we are slowly getting back on track. OMG, I want to see the full-grown ones. Okay, ask Joel to come in. Then he can show you the worms, because he likes to like show things. Okay, I'm asking him to come in, because he's doing the tech stuff on the outside. Asking you can come in to show the worms. Later show you friend. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so things in the gym is going well. We are slowly getting things back to the new normal. Oh, Joe is here. This has become the worm invasion. Yeah, it's like half my journey and half like worm invasion. Yeah, so while Joe is preparing the worms, right, I will continue to answer your questions. Okay, we have one more question, and then it'll be worm time, because it's 47 minutes already. Thank you for listening to me talk for 47 minutes. Okay, so our last segment won't be rapid fire questions, it will be worm time. But before that, I'll just answer the final question first. So, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs? Number one is be passionate about what you do. Yes, passion doesn't pay as well, but I think passion is what keeps you going as an entrepreneur. This is different from like, oh, I help my friend, you know, do a business. I think entrepreneur, you really need a lot of passion, because sometimes your passion can die, and then what are you gonna do? So my next point, number two, is you really have to have a lot of determination. Number 3, you really need to have a lot of perseverance, because it's easy to set up a business. The hardest thing is to sustain and maintain a business. That's the hardest thing. So you need to constantly be on the move to make sure that every area of your business is taken care of. Work hard, or work really hard. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. I always tell our interns is the best time to make mistakes when you're young. Make more mistakes if you can, because I think through your mistakes and through failures, that's where you actually learn and be better. I think if life was perfect, right, no mistakes, I think it's very hard to learn anything at all. Yeah. So we're just waiting for Joelle to... Oh my gosh, she brought a worm up! Everybody! I'm not going to touch it because y'all see the epic... Oh, y'all haven't seen the epic video of my sister. So, if you go to my like personal Instagram and if you see like my sister's Instagram, there's one video that I touched the worm and it was so scary. I reposted that. Okay, so we will show you the worm. This is so exciting! Okay, so this is my version of rapid fire question. It's not rapid fire, but it's exciting worm time. This is the first time that we're broadcasting our worms like live on Instagram. We have 11 minutes. Why you take that like that?
You got tissue?
Huh? You gonna put down a tissue? I no more tissue here already. Okay, so now, oh my gosh, Joelle wants to take them out and put on a tissue. Oh my gosh, I don't have tissue. Okay, but Joe can go and take the tissue. Okay, I'll show you guys the worms. Are you ready? Okay, so please, if you're scared of worms, right, then you just turn away. But everybody, can you see the worms? Okay, so these are worms. This is just like the smaller part of it. They are actually, what do you call that? They can grow as long as 20 cm, like really long. Okay, we're showing you a live broadcast. Woo! Can you all see? Yeah, so I don't know how many worms are there. There are 14 worms, is it, over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have 14 worms. So, whoa, don't poke them. Yeah, so sometimes, right, when you touch them, right, they will like string. Not string, like they will curl up. Huh? Later they run around. Okay, John wants to put the worm on the tissue. Oh my god. Okay, so everybody, during this time, I know even though I've talked about myself, but we can share with you our friend. They will cringe so friend saying so long OMG. Yeah. So if you have any questions about our worms, this are our pets. Oh my gosh, did they run all around?
No.
Yeah, if you have any questions about worms, or like why did we started it, or you know, besides what do they eat, look like glad noodle. I think they're a bit slippery because of the sorry, glass noodle. I thought, what is glad noodle? Some new thing. Okay, it's a bit. So what we do is that we actually have eggshells, and then we like make it under really fine. Okay, so these are eggshells, like really fine eggshells. So we actually put them inside the compost as well, because worms actually don't have teeth. So what we do is that these eggshells will actually help them break down the food that it is. Oh my. Okay, we got one out. Ta-da! Don't worry, the worm is moving. He is alive. Is it sticky? Yes.
Slimy.
They are more slimy than sticky. So some worms, right, like what Joel's doing now, some worms you can actually just touch them like that. They won't bother about you, or they won't string. But some worms are really scared. It's like scared order, right? It's like, yeah, some worms, they are a little bit more scared of like human touch. Sorry, I don't know why they're a bit dark. Yeah, so they're not sticky, they're more slimy. This is like really up close. Yeah, so for them, right, can worms bite you? No lah, they don't bite us lah. I mean, they don't bite you lah. Yeah, so worms they have no eyes. They have no eyes and they're deaf.
No teeth.
No teeth also. So they basically just like take everything through their mouth, and then that's why we have eggshells for them, so that they can actually digest the food. I don't know where all of them. Yeah, so this is our bigger bin. Can y'all see? So what we do is that we actually have all the dried grass, dried leaves, cardboard paper. Yeah, Joel even went to go and buy like a thermometer, see? Yeah, Joel's very passionate about his worms. Yeah, so those are our worms. I think we'll be composting. This is the thing that we do now. So, okay, so you realize, right, their diet. So because of their diet, right, one of the things that we do now is that we actually eat more fruits. Because they need the, what do you call this? They need the fruit, the fruit peels. So we actually eat more fruits now so that we can actually feed the worms. So I think they are really like our legit pets. Our tomato plants are doing good. They are growing very tall. Does the composting process smell? So no, they actually don't smell at all. The only smell that you smell is like earth, like ground, soil, earth. You can only smell that. They don't stink. The good thing is that they don't bring along pests. So it's pest free, because the only thing that they eat are all like vegetable scraps, carrot scraps, fruit scraps. They don't eat any meat scraps, dairy, no, not those things. So those like really clean stuff. So because of that, right, they don't have smell. The only smell that you get is like earthly grass smell, like at the grass patch, like at your house downstairs. Yeah. So would you want me to interview the worm man? We got 5 minutes. Oh, he's going out already. Okay, no, that's for another day. He doesn't want to be interviewed. Okay, so I hope that today was a good session for you. Even though, I was talking a lot and sharing my journey, but I hope it was a fun session for all of you to listen to what I have to say for like 47 minutes. Yeah, worm man. My sister is the plant lady. He's the worm man and plant uncle. But we hope that you enjoyed today's session. Of course, there's a lot of more stories that I have, but I can't squeeze it into the 1 hour. But feel free to ask more questions and I'll answer them accordingly. Stay tuned next week, because next week we'll have an exciting episode. Thanks, friend, for joining, and thanks, Julie, for joining also, and thanks, Yoming, also for joining, and all those people watching on Facebook. Next week, we will be having our interns back. That will be it'll be an interesting one, because they are ending their internship already. So on Sunday's episode next week, that will be the final and last time that y'all would be seeing them around to a certain extent. So join us next Thursday at 2 p.m. Send in your questions that you want to ask them, or you want to give them advice on like university or not, because both of them are going to go uni. Yeah, oh no. Yeah, it'll be quite sad to see them go, because they have been with us for 5.5 months now. But of course we have to let them go because they are going to start university for both of them. But I think it will be a good episode, because we started our very, very, very first episode, if you all remember. Okay, this is episode 12. Remember in episode 1, we started with the first episode with our 2 interns. You still remember? Yeah, so I thought it would be quite nice and heartwarming to actually end their internship also with an episode about them, because they're going to start their new phase in life. Yes, 5 months has passed really fast, I know. And then after that, circuit breaker came about like really quickly. Yeah, so yes, it has been 5.5 months. So that's that. But stay tuned for more episodes even after next week, because we will be having a lot of interesting guests. And at the same time, like I want to say again, you can catch us on Facebook or Instagram. We will also put it up, this podcast. Sorry sometimes if I don't have the podcast audio version up as fast because I need to convert it. But we are now also on Spotify. So you can actually Google ConVAlsation and you can find us on Spotify as well. So our podcasts are also on Spotify. But I will be doing this for as long as I can. So it's going to be really interesting because the conversation topics will grow as my life journey carries on as well. So I hope that everybody would follow along and be long-time listeners. Yeah, but without further ado, we will be ending today's podcast. Answer what? Oh, okay, sorry. There's another question. I've only got like... sorry, I have one more question. I should be able to answer it. Okay, so Yongmin just now he was asking, one of the questions is that if I am not in active zone, what do you think you will do? So, I think a lot of people don't know this, but before I joined Activate, right, I was almost ready to pack my bags, and I was really seriously contemplating to move to Australia and start my life afresh there. I was really into like writing, publication, and the fashion industry. And during that time, I think Australia was a country that I wanted to settle down in and stay there for a long time, work there, whatnot. So that will be what I would have done. Move to Australia and start a fresh new life again. And I had friends there lah. Yeah. So I hope that answers that question. But I mean, I don't